viewers, wherever you are following us from, this is your weekly news roundup on Atlantic TV with me, Omar Tal. We begin the news first with the headlines. President Barrow has rejected call from opponents not to seek for third term. Dr. Malik Law of Banjul reappeared before Commission of Inquiry and strongly denies any involvement or knowledge in the financial saga between AMK and Gandu Rajawani. United Democratic Party officially extend message of condolence to the former Nigerian President Goodluck Muhammadu Buhari. On international scenes, former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari dies at 82 in London. President Trump threatens U.S. will impose 100% tariff on countries that do business with Russia if there is no peace deal to end the war in Ukraine. This is our news in summary, and we now bring you in detail. President Barrow has rejected calls from opponents not to seek for the third term. The Gambian President Adama Barrow has last out sending shock warnings to those who attempt to prevent him from campaigning for third term in office. He described those opposing his bid as cowards who remained muted during former President Jammeh's 22 years in power. In a meeting in Jokado community, President Barrow stand on a bold ground saying, I can't sleep when I see these young stars beating their kids and speaking boldly. And those encouraging them were the same people who fled this country during Jammeh's era in office and haven't contributed anything to our politics. He continues stating that some of them weren't even associating with UDP, and now they are the ones saying, I will not go for a third term, but swear he will teach them an unforgettable lessons. Let's hear more from the president.
Lolto wala ken ni nga ñin dindi wala be chapi chapi le be sison la pele be kuma bal fola
motax man suma gisé ku ne le di chapi chapi di foga sen
nin dara la mbuga sino no hakke kam fabul
du may mëna nelaw sa di kon ndik mer
du gol men be ni ngo diandi kan
li neexal sen la
wollo molti me ala ko borta ñi banko lay sarasi banka
ñi gëna neex lamé moy ñi nga xamné ba mi metti dañ tawon génn réew
ima hañi pour kana jang
yow ñemewu la pour ñëw ci réew
ndel be politique ko hani transo ima bondi pour que ma koy
ñu ci politique bobu transo génnewu la ko pour dimbal
dol benu ñi banko kan jang
amna ño xamné ñu ngi ci réew
wol be laari la ramon le ko hani ko yetemo yudi pingo ko lay pour kakatete la
boba ñu ngi tëdd ci kaw la li soné yudi fi sa du ñëngé jégé
ñaalo ñi mu yudi bi ko bambandi mbali ka jam fetele mala fi ni kata ñol
yow yudi fi bu am dégel nga ku dégel nga
sa wala na do yudi bi ke nengol diandi je
ñoo ñëw UDP di guddal la
wala ka président barote lola
ñoom ñooy taxaw doole président Barrow
ñi ne be kela
lii mooy am
nga ko billah wala be ku kila la jang
mu ne ko
obe joya la baak
def loo xam ne
Mayor Rohilo of Banjul appeared before local commission of inquiry and strongly denies any involvement or knowledge in the financial saga between EMK and Nandu Rajwani. BBC under her auspices is in thickening fog of financial scandal where millions of dollars has not been publicly accounted for. From being a champion and a beacon of hope for the city to a damning figure at a center of never-ending controversies. Her appearance before the local government commission puts her through a challenge of financial mismanagement and what lead council Patrick Gomez described as a pattern of financial irregularities. The United Democratic Party officially extended our condolence message on the passing of the former Nigerian president, Muhammadu Buhari, who died in London at the age of 82. The official condolence message reads, "It is with profound sadness that I, on behalf of the United Democratic Party and the people of the Gambia, extend our deepest condolences to the government and people of Nigeria and to the family of former President Muhammadu Buhari following his passing. President Buhari was not just a towering figure in Nigeria, but a respected statesman across Africa. His leadership during a critical moment in the Gambian history when democracy was under threat in 2017. He will forever be remembered as chairman of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government. He played a pivotal role in ensuring a peaceful transition of power in the Gambia, standing firmly for the will of the people and the principle of democracy. His unwavering commitment to justice and stability in our region left an indelible mark on our nation's journey. In this moment of grief, we join Nigeria in mourning a leader of integrity, courage, and dedication. May his legacy continue to inspire a generation of Africans to uphold democracy, peace, and selfless service. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant him eternal peace in Jannah Firdaus and give his family, the Nigerian nation, and all who admired him the strength to bear the irreplaceable loss." That marks the end of the UDP's official text message to the former Nigerian President Muhammad Buhari, who died in London at the age of 82. To another national news, Minister of Local Government and Lands, Honorable Ahmad Ncheba, has condemned the acquisition of land by foreign nationals in the urban areas of the country. Speaking at a government ministerial town hall, the land minister described Gambia as being too cheap, and we have been giving away this country and we need to put a stop to it. But said, let's see more from Mr. Ba himself in this development that unfolded at the conference center, where Ba was speaking against the acquisition of Gambians by foreign nationals.
We cannot own land in the urban area as a foreigner. We have been too cheap. We have been giving away this country. For too much we gave away. And we need to put a stop to that. If not, our children, our great-grandchildren will have nowhere to live. They will be enslaved in this country. And it's high time Gambians to wake up to that danger that is looming, that's coming. Taking our land, selling it cheap to these people, only to fence it, to make millions out of it, or use it over us, we have to put a stop to that. It's not a popular statement with some people, but I think we need to send this signal across.
We now give our attention on the international stories. First, we begin in Nigeria on the passing of the late Nigerian President Muhammad Buhari, who died in London at the age of 82. The late Nigerian president in 1983 was overthrown President Sehu Sahari and installed himself as the head of the state. Born on December 17, 1942 in Daura, Katsina State, Muhammad Buhari was 23rd child of Malam Hadu Adamo and Zuhelat. At age 19, he began his military journey at Nigerian Military Training College in Kaduna. From there, he trained at Mons Officer Cadet School in England from 1962 to 1963, and later a mechanical transport officer course at Boarding in 1965. His military education continued at the Defense Service College in India from 1973, and the U.S. Army War College in Washington, D.C. from 1979 to 1980. In 1975, Buhari was a central figure in the coup that brought Murtala Mohammed to power. That same year, he was military governor of the northeastern state. A life of service, a mark in Nigeria's history. More from the Reuters report about the life of the former Nigerian president who died in London.
The death of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has sparked a mix of emotions across the country, with few mourning his passing and many criticizing his policies and legacy.
We did not enjoy him. His regime was a total failure.
He ruled us for 8 years and today is no more. So for me, it's life well spent.
Buhari led Africa's most populous country from 2015 to 2024 and was the first Nigerian president to oust an incumbent through the ballot box. He first led the country as a military ruler after a coup in the 1980s. Buhari said he aimed to improve the lives of Nigerians through social welfare programs, the construction of train lines, roads, dams, airports, and power infrastructure. His supporters viewed him as Nigeria's conscience because he had a reputation for shunning the corruption and ostentatious lifestyles often associated with the country's political elites. In the capital, Abuja, this resident said people expected him to fight corruption when he came into office, but instead,
people saw more corruption during his tenure than they thought would have happened in any other administration.
Buhari died in London at aged 82 following a prolonged illness, a presidential spokesperson said. Nigerian State Governor Dikko Umari Rada said Buhari's body will arrive in Nigeria on Tuesday and be buried the same day in his hometown of Dara.
That report by Reuters, on the passing of the late Nigerian President Muhammad Buhari. May Allah give him eternal peace. On the international scene, we shift our attention to the Atlantic, where President Donald Trump threatens U.S. will impose 100% tariff on countries that do business with Russia if there is no peace deal to end the war on Ukraine within 50 days. Unveiling his plan to implement secondary sanctions as his frustration with the Russian leader Vladimir Putin grows as new shipment of weaponry to Kyiv announced. More from this ABC News report.
Very unhappy I am with Russia, but we'll discuss that maybe a different day. But we're very, very unhappy with them, and we're going to be doing very severe tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. Tariffs at about 100%. You'd call them secondary tariffs. You know what that means. But today we're going to talk about something else. And as you know, we've spent $350 billion approximately on this war with Russia and Ukraine, and would like to see it end. It wasn't my war, it was Biden's war. It's not my war. I'm trying to get you out of it. And we want to see it end. And I'm disappointed in President Putin because I thought we would have had a deal 2 months ago, but it doesn't seem to get there. So based on that, we're going to be doing secondary tariffs if we don't have a deal in 50 days. It's very simple. And they'll be at 100%. And that's the way it is. That can be more simple. It's just the way it is. I hope we don't have to do it. But regardless, we are going to be we make the greatest military equipment in the world, whether it's missiles. You saw that recently in Iran, the way those planes flew in. They had every single, 14 bombs hit every target. Then you had the helicopters shoot a total of 30 bombs, 30 missiles, and they hit every single, Marco, is that right? Every single piece, every single target. And it was, I guess, on a scale of 0 to 10, they say it was about a 15. That's how successful it was. That's how lethal it was, a word they like to use now.
This marks the end of our today's news update, this week's news update. But before we go, we give you the news in headlines. President Barrow has rejected calls from party opponents not to seek for the third terms. Rohim Malik Law of Banjul reappeared before local commission of inquiry and strongly denies any involvement or knowledge in the financial saga between EMJ and Nandu Rajwani. UDP extend a message of condolence on the passing of the former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari, who died in London at 82. Minister Ahmad Ba of Local Government and Lands condemned acquisition of lands by foreigners in the urban areas of the country. Former Nigerian President was laid to rest at his hometown in Daura in Borno State. President Putin threatened U.S. will impose more tariff and sanctions on Russia if it fails to end the war in Ukraine in 50 days. This is all we have for you in this week's news roundup. Join us next week for more national and international stories with me, Omota, and the rest of our team on Atlantic TV. Bye.